Well, Kate Cox and Latisha McMurray, they live and work on Mount Nicholas Station on the western shores of Lake Wakatipu. That wouldn't be a bad place to wake up every morning, I can tell you. They farm Merino sheep and Hereford cattle in equity partnership with their husbands, Jack and Phil. Now, despite their relative isolation, they've started a venture designing and manufacturing a range of merino products. Now they're on the hunt. They want to grow a network of like-minded farmers who are in the game of selling their own wool products, and they join us now. Kate and Latisha, great to have you guys on the program. How are you doing?
Yeah, great. Thanks, Dom.
Now, Kate, we'll just we'll begin with you. You've been on the show fairly recently. Your background in a nutshell?
So my background is I grew up on the station here and then went away to university and worked in rural banking for about 10 years and have been back farming here for about, I think it's 15 or 16 years, something like that. You lose track.
Yeah. And Latisha?
So I grew up in Waikaka in rural Southland and did my chef training down in Invercargill. Then Phil and I, we arrived at Mount Nicholas Station almost coming up 10 years ago as head shepherd and station cook. And yeah, been here ever since.
Oh, good stuff. So you'll be one of the favourites then. I can imagine. So now tell us about, let's just jump straight into the jerseys, the accessories, the throws, the baby blankets, all of the stuff made from Mount Nicholas wool, which is a great initiative. So how did you guys find the process of setting yourselves up in this business? What were the steps that sort of led to where you've got to today?
So we've always run a tourism events business on the station, and which was always pretty busy. So times are changing and we've both got young children and whatnot. So we thought we needed to find something that better aligned with the families. We could manage a bit easier. So one day while cleaning shearers' quarters, we thought, why not pull some of our merino wool and make it into our own product line?
Just like that, it was born.
It was, yeah. We pulled our first line of wool out 2 years ago, shearing in August, and began the process of scouring it, spinning, dyeing, and knitting.
Well, you make it sound relatively easy, Latisha, I have to say. There must have been a fair bit of organising and work that's gone into getting it to where it is today, right? So what was that process like? How difficult was it?
I think for us, it was finding the right people to work with was really key, and that took a while. I think we were really passionate about the wool, but we were also passionate about getting it all processed and manufactured in New Zealand. So we didn't want to go offshore, which does limit your options. New Zealand used to have so many manufacturers and services, which unfortunately have disappeared as competition from overseas has increased for manufacturing, and so we spent quite a lot of time finding the right people to work with, with help from the New Zealand Merino company, who we supply our wool, sell our wool through, and others. And so that was really key, was getting the right people involved in the business, and that probably took the longest amount of time, was getting the supply chain established. And once we actually did that, things just sort of happened quite organically, really.
So that, I guess, leads us to the group that you guys are looking to set up. So that was obviously just I guess, a continuation of the, I don't want to use the word journey, but I will, for lack of a better one that I can't think of right now. Yeah, the wool journey from Mount Nicholas. I mean, that's obviously you're just, going through the natural sort of cycle and process. And here we are arriving at this stage. You want to get these like-minded farmers selling their own wool products to sort of come together under some sort of banner, or explain to me what the idea behind this is.
Well, we just thought, it's not always easy when you're in a rural location. You haven't necessarily got a lot of support, and a lot of people are starting their own businesses, producing woolen products, from the farm with great stories. And you've got the likes of Devar, and you've got lots and lots of other ones, Grumpy Merino. There's a range of people doing great things with crossbred and merino wool. And, we just thought it'd be really fun if we could, get those people together and, just sort of share stories, share ideas, share what's working, be support to each other, because the demand for these types of products, we think is really high and growing. And so I think we can, we could all network together, and grow that whole market and all benefit from it. And be able to use a bit of our collective scale to perhaps engage, whether it's a marketing specialist or someone to various professionals that might be able to help all of us grow our businesses and share our own ideas and what's worked and hasn't worked. And all of us probably are at different stages of growth and development and in different markets. And we just thought it would be a bit of fun, really, to be able to connect with other people doing similar thing on farm.
Yeah, and I guess the whole process of going through this sort of thing is, the processing of the wool and these products in smaller volumes. I imagine it's not over. I don't want to be disparaging, but I mean the efficiency. When you sort of got a lower scale, can't be all that great, if you know what I'm getting at.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you've definitely got challenges. It would be a lot cheaper to do more and take it offshore and process it all in China and bring it home. But I think for a lot of people doing this, they want to do it in New Zealand if they can. And I think the types of things you can gain from doing that is you can keep your control of your story really tight, and exactly what's going on right through your supply chain. You personally know the people that you're working with, and you end up with an amazing quality product that you can then, put a higher price tag on the other end of it to help pay for that. So really, you're probably looking more at, your niche markets. You don't want to be stocking Kmart or another bulk brand. You want to have something that's quite unique. And I think all of these different brands, you look at Honest Wolf and you look at all these fantastic New Zealand businesses started on farm, have these amazing products that are unique to their situation. And there's just, people are so positive when you talk to them about what you're doing. They love a New Zealand product, and natural fibres too is, hugely important to a lot of people now.
Yeah, it's the perfect storm at the moment for what you're doing and what other similar brands that you've mentioned are doing as well. I think that you're right. People like New Zealand products. They like the natural fibre aspect of it. Also, not the mass-produced, in bulk sort of stuff as well. Like grown here, manufactured, all that sort of stuff. I mean, you're capturing what people are wanting, I suppose, which is why a lot of these businesses are, becoming quite successful in their own right.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's, you grow a business is a real learning curve for us, and I'm sure it's probably a learning curve for others. And it would just be nice to be able to share a few stories and, successes and failures, and, I guess just be able to share, as you say, the journey with other like-minded producers. When you are remote from each other, that does bring another level of challenge when you're trying to start a business remotely, sort of often in the middle of nowhere. It brings its own set of challenges. Yeah,
for sure. And also keeping the individual story of these particular businesses, because as you say, they've all got their own their own story to it, and you want to retain that. But I guess under an umbrella of it's almost are you trying to maybe like some sort of collective here or something like that? Is that a accurate umbrella term to describe what you're looking to set up?
We sort of talked about it in terms of like a support group, but it makes us sound all like addicts. Which
support group for selling wool. Yeah. So, oh God. Yeah.
Well, it's really just about I think it's really just about being able to share ideas and highs and lows, and and perhaps be able to source a bit of expertise, general expertise, to be able to assist us, potentially, I don't know, maybe there's even funding available that we could tap into, or expertise we could tap into and share amongst the group, for things like marketing, branding, business growth, startups. There's an array of I suppose skills and information and ideas that could be shared, and just what's working for different people doing different things. What shows they've been to that have been really good. Where they're finding good markets, just different opportunities, but just moral support as well.
Yeah, well, that's fair. With the Mount Nicholas wool brand and the products, I mean, what value does that bring to the overall farm business? Could you measure it just in dollar terms, or is there something else going on in relation to that? I mean, how have you found that, particular aspect of what you're doing in terms of the whole, sort of Mount Nicholas experience or brand, or however you want to term that?
I think you wouldn't say it's a huge money earner at this stage, Dom. We will have in November done our first calendar year of having products in this November, and we're aiming to break even in our first calendar year. Hopefully, we'll be profitable after that, but I don't think we did it primarily as a way to make tons of money in the start. I think if you go into something like this thinking, oh, we're just going to make a fortune, you're probably going to be quite disappointed. Like any business, it'll take time to get established. But I think in terms of what it offers, having a business on farm can offer other employment opportunities for others on farm. It can, increase the awareness of your farm brand. It provides a bit of interest for us, still doing some tourism work as well. We often used to have corporate groups coming here that really wanted to take something from the farm when they left, and now we have got something that products that they can buy and take with them. But I think awareness of your property, and if we're lucky, we're on quite an old established property, and the name was already recognised a little bit, which has probably helped a bit with our marketing too. But and it's something different. It's a lot of learning. We've learned so much doing it, and it's nice being in that situation where you get to learn and do something new. The variety is good.
Yeah, absolutely. It's funny you say that. There was someone else, and I just, as you were talking about it, the name escapes me now. There was someone in the North Island who had a similar experience with people coming on to their farms. They did like farm tours or something, and what they wanted was something to take away with them. They wanted a memento or something like that. So they did something very similar in terms of making wool products, and it started very small. It's like scarves or something like that, and then it's gone further. But it was kind of the impetus for them as well, which is pretty good. That's a good way. It's a good reason. It's reason enough. To do that, so people take a bit of Mount Nicholas or wherever it might be back home, So I guess that's the sort of stuff that's you can't really put a figure on it, right?
No. I think you don't want to do something. I don't think you want to do anything in life just for the money you're going to make out of it either. It's got to be about more than that.
Yeah, absolutely. Very good. Well, okay, so online as well. I mean, is that really the place now for obviously people coming on farm, so to speak, as we just mentioned, but really online is the place now, which I guess makes things I guess a lot easier, or is it? I mean, what are the challenges around the actual sort of so you manufacture these products and they're ready to go, and then it's the distribution and that sort of thing. I mean, how challenging is that? What's the best model? What have you found in that space?
I think what we've found there is that online definitely for us has been really good. I mean, there's some awesome e-commerce sites now. So we use Shopify, which has been marvelous. It's easy to use. It does everything for you. And I think you really have to have an online presence, and it makes it quite affordable to do it. We also, we like getting out and about with the products. I think with wool in general, when people get to touch products and feel them and see them in the flesh, they're really sold. And so, we've made an effort to try and combine the online stuff with, getting out to various shows and things like, Wanaka Show, our local AMP show. And there's lots now of opportunities, farmers markets, all sorts of places you can go and take product without having to have a shop necessarily. But online just opens you up so much. And I think people have become a lot more willing to shop online since COVID as well. And it's become a much more mainstream way of shopping. And if you have a good returns policy, people don't need to be panicked about buying the wrong size or colour. They can swap it if they need to. Logistics is a bit of an issue when you're in the countryside, but it's just one of those things you've got to work your way around. We're lucky we've got good storage facilities here that have got a lot of woolen products in them at the moment, and we just do a courier run a couple of times a week to town to courier product off once it's all ordered and away it goes.
So, guys, if people are thinking, yeah, okay, we'd be interested in, being under some sort of, sort of like-minded group, if you like, have you reached out so far, or how do people, get in touch with you? What's the best way to get this kind of the ball rolling on this?
Well, we thought for a start we might just set up a closed group or a membership group on the likes of Facebook or something like that. We're planning to email all the ones that we can kind of think of and invite them in the hope that they'll share with other ones that they know of, and then just start from there and just grow, as people are keen and as they want to join and as more new businesses start, and just keep ticking on from there, and then I guess put it over to the group and say, hey, what do you guys want to get out of this? And this is some things that we think, but what do people want out of being involved in this type of thing?
I reckon there's quite a few. They're probably popping up now, eh? Like, well, I don't know. How many do you reckon? I reckon there's, I don't know. It's actually hard to put a number on it, but I keep hearing a new ones probably every couple of weeks. You kind of come across.
Yeah, you can sort of easily think of 10 or a dozen off your top of your head.
Exactly. I was sort of thinking maybe in my head, maybe 20 or something might be the figure, something like that, which is, it's a good, strong starting point, isn't it? Each creating unique products from their own patch of land. It's very cool.
Yeah, I think it's great. It's awesome for New Zealand to be able to get back into doing more of this again, because in a lot of ways it's quite traditional, but it also then supports some of these amazing manufacturers that we're still lucky enough to have in New Zealand as well. And if they're not, if we don't support them, eventually they'll disappear. And so you want to be utilising the supply chain that we still have in place.
What's your guys' best seller? Have you got a best seller in your range?
Oh, would definitely be the jerseys. They're new, so everyone's wanting a jersey. But coming into winter, scarves and beanies are becoming popular as well.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah, that's cool. So the jerseys, I think I'm just looking at your website now. Oh yeah, I like your labeling there too with the N. That's very cool. And there's a whole obviously range of colours and stuff as well. Yeah, they look great. I can see why they would be. They'll be coming into their own as weather starts to get a bit colder as well, right?
Absolutely, yeah. Especially if you live in the south, although anywhere in New Zealand can get pretty cold. Yeah,
exactly. Starting to get cold where you guys are right now, though, eh? Yeah.
Sure is.
Yeah. What's for dinner?
Good question.
Probably a roast or something like that.
Yeah, good stuff. Do you still do, Latisha? Do you still do? You came on, as you said, as like the station chef, as it were. Is that still what you do?
No, we employ a station cook now and a handyman.
Oh, you're great.
So I'm just at home with my family, the two little boys.
Excellent. Oh, good stuff. That'll keep you busy. Cheers.
To cook for the events and whatnot there.
Right. Still use that skill set. Yeah,
that's great.
Yeah, there's an art to cooking for a mob of people, right?
Yes, there is.
Yeah, good stuff. Hey guys, it's a cool idea. Good on you. All the best with your own brand and also getting other like-minded businesses on board as well. I think it's a great idea. It can only be good for, NZ Inc., as it were, NZ farming and all that sort of thing going forward. So good luck with that. I'm sure you get a lot of people that, jump on board and want to, explore some ideas around it. So thank you both very much for joining me on the program today. Appreciate it.
Awesome. Thanks, Dom.
Thanks, Dom.